you have a flight scheduled with Spirit Airlines, don't show up at the airport. There will be no one here to assist you. What Spirit Airlines is now going to do is go through an orderly liquidation process. We'll see how that develops over the course of the next several days. But for customers of Spirit, I want to give information on how you can navigate this situation that you now find yourself in. And President Trump, Administrator Bedford, and I have been working with the other airlines across the industry in anticipation that this morning may happen. And so if you're a customer, many of the airlines that are not Spirit are stepping up to provide you assistance. So United, Delta, JetBlue, and Southwest are capping their ticket prices for Spirit customers. It's going to vary between the airlines. You have to go to their websites to take advantage of these special offers. It is normally going to be about $200 for a one-way ticket. You'll minimally have to provide to the airlines that you're now going to book with your Spirit confirmation number and your proof of payment. I would recommend that if you have a ticket with Spirit, that you actually try to book with these airlines as soon as possible. These offers are not going to be open forever, and the airlines are going to have varying degrees of time frames at which you can take advantage of the opportunity. Again, go to the airlines' websites. So if you have a flight scheduled with Spirit Airlines,
Hey, here we go.
Damn.
I'm gonna say thoughts to all you and your colleagues over there at the bananas.
This is absolutely terrible news. Obviously, Spirit was the budget-friendly airline. It's going to cause all prices to go up. And this is all because Trump wanted to do Israel's bidding and start a war with Iran. And the price of oil, of gas, just became too much for Spirit to keep operating. So now flights prices are going to go through the roof. You can't go easily to, places that would be like $50 round trip. It's going to be quadruple that. And it's just, more of the beginning of the end of life as we know it in America.
Hey, here we go.
Did you want to? Is there anything available?
Seeing people lose their jobs overnight should be your literal wake-up call. Like, job security is really an illusion. One decision you ain't make, it came from higher ups, and that's it. That's why you need something on the side, something outside of your 9 to 5. Not because you greedy, because life be lifing. And when life lifes, you need to have options ready so you're still comfortable and you don't have to scramble. This is literally crazy.
So according to Spirit, all flights have been canceled effective immediately, and they're not offering rebooking services right now, telling passengers to book with other airlines. Several carriers have stepped up, which is certainly good news, offering support for impacted travelers, some even offering reduced fares on select routes. So according to Spirit, all flights have been canceled.
Well, we watching it happen, y'all. Babylon is cooked. It looked like America is pretty much phasing out. And of course, Spirit Airlines is shutting down because of the fuel depravity. Although leadership is trying to make it seem like it's something else. They are claiming that Spirit just randomly went bankrupt. That's not the case at all. It's the jet fuel. We are in the middle of a fuel crisis. And I'm here to bring y'all the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I am not going to promote anything that's sensationalized. And I'm just going to shoot straight from the hip. Things are going to get a whole lot worse before they get better. This right here is just the beginning. However, this is a real strong sign, a real strong signal, I should say, that America's standing on its last leg. And the momentum is shifting. And believe it or not, they're not the only airlines that's feeling the pressure. Spirit Airline is not the only airline. And I honestly believe the fact that it's Spirit Airline is a symbol in itself, because the spirit of America is being gouged. The fact that it's Spirit Airline speaks volumes. It's a symbol. And, you know, food is about to get a lot more expensive as well. That's what's next. And we're going to talk about that. And also, there's a lot of jobs being completely terminated because of AI. Layoffs are becoming massive. Within the last 2 weeks, there's a lot of news that nobody's paying attention to, but hundreds and thousands of jobs are gone in America. They're gone. Now, we're going to chop it up. I'm going to give you the real deal. You know how we do. And we also going to weigh everything through the parameters of the scriptures. We bring you nothing but the truth. So as you enter the broadcast, make sure y'all get the likes up. Let's get to it.
They working against us. They hate our souls. They hate us. They hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our love for the They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repented. They hate the fact that we truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks. With these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. Nubreed.
Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Peace and blessings to the chat. I see Tania's in the building. What's going on? Golden Sea is in the house. Let's see. We got Believer in Christ in the building. Salute. Empowered Educator, Shawnee Wayne. Baba Ronson live. Give it up to the elder. It is good to have you. Jason G in the building. Julia, Queen Cole. Glad to have y'all for another broadcast. So early this morning, in the wee hours around 3 a.m., 17,000 some odd employees got a phone call from Spirit Airlines letting them know that they are no longer with a job to provide for their families. That's a lot of people. And that's just an estimated number because it may be more. And like a sister on a video said earlier, she said that job security in America is an illusion. And I want to go to a scripture in Ecclesiastes 5:13, where it says, "There is a sore evil which I have seen under the sun, namely riches kept for the owners thereof to their hurt. But those riches perish by evil travail. And he begetteth a son, and there is nothing in his hand." Babylon is falling, and relying on a broken society will leave you with nothing to pass down. There is no certainty. And what I need everybody to understand is that we are in crunch time. It is no longer doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. The so-called global elite have proved time and time again that you are nothing more than a number whom will be disregarded whenever they see fit, all to align their own filthy pockets. And then you had Trump talking about trying to bail out Spirit Airlines by buying it. Imagine that. He's the reason why they can't afford the fuel and had to shut down. And now he's claiming that he may be able to put some money together to buy it. Wickedness. Now, of course, these things have to play out. They absolutely have to play out. And we have to start moving accordingly.
Well, Spirit Airlines is closing, shutting down. They don't have no money. They're broke. And it was crazy because Spirit Airlines is supposed to be the cheap alternative. I had no problems flying Spirit, not long distance, only short flights, and you only can be comfortable in the first 5 seats. But they had talks of a bailout with the government and it fell through. Customers were learning that their tickets were not good when they got to the airport. What are y'all doing with the funds? Y'all charged for every single thing on the plane and y'all still wasn't making money? All y'all had to do was increase the price just a little bit. I feel bad for the people that's losing their jobs.
It had nothing to do with Spirit Airlines pricing. It had everything to do with the fuel. Please don't fall for the narratives that the media is telling you. It's because of the fuel shortages due to the Strait of Hormuz being shut down. And, you know, we've already predicted that this would happen. This is the reason why gas is skyrocketing. And very soon, grocery prices are going to go up as well, because there's more news going on that a lot of people aren't paying attention to, but we're going to bring it out. Let's go.
That's what I feel bad for. These big companies come out here, spit up all the money. When you knew the money was about to go dry, why didn't you start restructuring at that point? So you would avoid this. Or just make an overall better product. And you would have been okay. Now Spirit Airlines, now we got to steal with the... Look at this. Sprint and Spirit, gone.
Look, some people are kind of dumbfounded at what's going on.
Tonight, the effects of the war in Iran affecting travelers now. The shortage of jet fuel leading Lufthansa Airlines to cut 20,000 flights over the next 6 months.
Now, this was like a week or so ago. Actually, this was April 23rd, where they let you know on ABC World News that it was because of fuel, while a lot of airports was experiencing some of the hardships and difficulties.
Tonight, the effects of the war in Iran affecting travelers now. The shortage of jet fuel leading Lufthansa Airlines to cut 20,000 flights over the next 6 months. European airlines have been warning already that the closure of the Strait of Hormuz would lead to fuel shortages and disruptions. Tonight, the effects of the war in Iran affecting travelers now. The shortage of jet fuel leading Lufthansa Airlines to cut 20,000 flights over the next 6 months. European airlines have been warning already that the closure of the Strait of Hormuz would lead to fuel shortages and disruptions.
See, the Europeans was already warning that, hey, this war in Iran is going to lead to some real major issues. And now we're seeing it happen. It's happening.
Spirit Airlines is done. Not bankrupt, not restructuring, they are shutting down. They canceled every single flight this morning, and now 17,000 employees are left without jobs. This might seem very sudden and random, but is it? Here is how this happened. Hi, I'm Natalie. I'm the founder of a startup, and you can follow me for more tech and business lore that you can't ignore. Over the past 4 years, Spirit has lost over $2.1 billion. Their business model is to charge very little for the actual airfare and then charge for everything else. This worked when they had cost advantage, but all of the other major airlines like Delta, United, American, all introduced basic economy fares at similar price points, but with more included. They had a bigger network, they had free Wi-Fi, a lot of people had airline loyalty to these networks. It didn't help that in 2023, they had an engine defect that grounded dozens of planes, and their $3.8 billion JetBlue merger got denied by the Biden DOJ on antitrust grounds. This was blocked in order to protect budget consumers. Then in 2024, they filed for bankruptcy. They restructured and they filed again in August of 2025. And the final blow was the conflict with Iran that made oil prices increase by over double of what they projected. They went to the current administration for a $500 million bailout. When Spirit needed to borrow money over the years, they issued bonds, basically loans from investors that they promise they'll pay back with interest. And because of that, their bondholders legally have to approve any restructuring deals because their money is on the line. Ken Griffin's hedge fund Citadel had bought up a huge chunk of those bonds when Spirit was very low on cash. And so, unfortunately, they blocked this bailout. And that was it. 17,000 jobs gone, 72 airports just lost a cheap option, and any routes that Spirit flew are probably going to get a lot more expensive for everyone.
Yep. You can expect some price gouging because these other companies, the competitors, are going to take advantage. Now, of course, for immediate flights that's been booked, they've already said that they would meet Spirit's requirements so these people can finish their travel. However, after that's done, better believe they're going to try to absorb those customers. And they're not going to do it by going down on the prices. They're going to do it by going up because you're living in a capitalistic society full of opportunists. Meanwhile, the people who kept everything afloat are laid off right now. And you know what them scriptures tell us in James 5:4? It says, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields is kept back by fraud, crieth. That scripture is talking about workers being used and disregarded while leadership profits. You know, this whole country is a complete scam against the people. And the Bible speaks very clear about it. That's why we have to begin to invest in our own interest. support one another, build some type of bartering system, because you can't rely on them folks. It's so much corporate greed. And Trump said everything was going to be okay. But you know what the Bible says, 1 Thessalonians 5:3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them.
We got some big updates about Donald Trump putting his face on the passport for U.S. American citizens. Now we have confirmation hours later that it's only going to be available, this limited edition passport, at the Washington Passport Agency. So if you're getting your passport anywhere other than Washington, D.C., you're not going to have Donald Trump's face or signature on it. But if you're in Washington, D.C., you may very well have his face and signature on it. But not just that. Even if you're not getting the passport in DC, you're still paying for these new limited edition passports, because taxpayer dollars will be used to create the new limited edition passports that have Donald Trump's face, his name, and remember, the Declaration of Independence is going to be surrounding his face. So that's the latest. They're set to go into production sometime this summer, June, July-ish. We don't have an exact date just yet, but they are doing it. Trump is putting his face on these passports. I'll have more updates for you very soon. As always, spread the word and follow along for all the news you need to know about.
Yep, it's official. They're trying to run a totalitarian government. And Trump is practicing a lot of vanity off our tax dollars. He want that ballroom. He want to put his face on the passports. And I said this once, I'm going to say it again. There's no such thing as government funding. Everything that's funded by the government is our taxpayer dollars. So there's no such thing as government funding. So all of this is coming out of our pockets. It's all coming out of our pockets. And, you know, I said this as well. Once they release those files and the American citizens didn't do nothing about it, that was all she wrote. Pandora's box was open. When there wasn't any real protests and real public outrage, when people went from one story to the next, these people knew they can do whatever they want. They knew it. Revelations 18:17, for in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught. That's talking about massive industries collapsing, wealth disappearing quickly. Yeah, airlines are shutting down. Companies are cutting thousands of people. Listen, we're watching it happen. We're watching it happen. Everything we talked about, we're seeing it happen.
I don't care what y'all saying. Spirit Airline closing this abruptly. Yes, it's abrupt because 10 hours ago they were posting on people's pages not to worry because everything will be fine. But then they not only closed down, but they also shut down their customer service. They're telling people to contact the booking agent or the booking website you got your tickets from, and they will automatically refund you. But what if they don't? And what if booking agents are on some shiesty stuff? Or it's a list of things that could happen. But I see people are stranded on vacation, and even workers that didn't know they no longer had a job hours before their shift. And yes, they've been talking about it for months, but it was up in the air. And they were telling people not to worry hours before this happened. I guess they expected Trump to approve the budget, and he did not. Surprise, surprise. But so unprofessional. I personally have not flew with Spirit in a while, but I can only imagine the prices of the other airlines, how they're going to skyrocket now since they were the lowest. And that was kind of like keeping the playing field even. Scary, yes, but some people are saying it's been in the news for months and they send emails, but I've been seeing a lot of people say they didn't receive email. They just saw this pop up on their app, a message saying, you know, your flight is canceled. You're unemployed. It's messed up, in my opinion. I am seeing that some of the other airlines have temporarily lowered their prices to accommodate those people affected by Spirit's closure. They're calling them rescue fares. So I hope people that are stranded on vacation are able to get home, because Spirit Airlines said, I'll see y'all in Spirit. Bye. I don't care what y'all saying. Spirit.
Man, listen. There's a whole lot of people going to Miami Beach that's upset right now, or people who plan to go. There's a whole lot of people that is trying to figure things out right now. I tell you that much. This is a major inconvenience Because why? The president didn't accept the bailout, and he should have. He caused the problem. Of course, Spirit Airlines may have made mistakes, had bankruptcy, just like every other company. But however, it could have been bailed out. I mean, it was originally, I mean, the reason it shut down is because of these oil shortages.
So great conversations occasionally. A lot of crazy stuff has happened, but it's funny as we sit here, I'll speak for myself. I don't remember any of the bad times, just the good months. So, Spirit, believe it or not, started flying in 1983. I think it was called Charter Air at the time. And in 1992, it changed its name to Spirit. So we've been in the air since 1983. What is that? 43 years. And unfortunately, that's over. So thank you for your support over the years. And onward and upward, right? Go. God bless you all.
Yeah, that's a lot of people losing jobs. I know that's a sad situation. And you know, the irony of it is when all these planes started falling out the sky last year. Y'all remember that all these planes was flying out the sky and they were trying to blame it on DEI when really it was some AI malfunctioning going on. Y'all remember that? Do y'all remember Spirit Airlines is the only one that did not have a plane fall out the sky? That's the irony of it. Spirit Airlines is the only one that did not have a plane fall out the sky.
All the girls going to Miami, cancel your flights, baby, because Spirit is gone. Gas got to them. They could no longer afford the fuel. 17,000 workers are going to be out of jobs, including 14,000 employees and thousands of contractors and people who just depended on Spirit. All y'all flights are canceled. Now, if you have a ticket from Spirit Airlines and you need to get to where you need to go, here are the airlines that are willing to work with you. American Airlines has a fare cap, it's price limits. They're going to help you with making sure that the prices don't skyrocket when you turn that ticket in. Frontier to the rescue, y'all get up to 50% off. All my Miami girls, go ahead and lock in. United is offering like $200 to $300 one-way fares. But here's the kick. We have to do a loyalty sign up. They trying to get in on the back end. JetBlue.
Yeah, they're going to have a whole bunch of sign-ups to try to absorb those customers.
Got $99. I'll run for them. They rebooking quickly. And you knew Southwest wasn't going to be left out. They're going to offer you some low fares. Honestly, I ain't never heard of the one at the bottom. The effects of this war is starting to hit corporations. I know they fucking nervous now. Let's see who makes the phone call to Wigs R Us.
Damn. Yup. But, you know, there's a lot of flights getting slashed all over because of these fuel issues and prices.
Air Transat, the latest Canadian airline to scale back the number of flights it's offering this summer, cutting back roughly 1,000 flights up until October. But we also heard from Lufthansa, the big German airline that provides flights around the world, cutting back and canceling, get this, 20,000 flights across Europe. These cancellations are primarily short-haul flights that go on until October. But we've also heard plenty of other Canadian airlines who have had to adapt. WestJet and Sunwing have both announced fuel surcharges. Air Canada said it would suspend 6 routes, including to New York's JFK Airport from Toronto and Montreal. All of this obviously driven by the soaring cost of jet fuel, driven by the U.S.-Iran war, where Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz to tankers. Air Transat, the latest Canadian airline to scale back the...
So it's not just happening in America, ladies and gentlemen. This is going on globally. You got flights getting slashed over there in Canada, 20,000 flights. You know, this is not a joke. And this is the beginning of something major. And we can no longer ignore what's happening. This is a wake-up sign. 2 Esdras 16 and 21 says, "Behold, victuals shall be So it says, let me read this again. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think to themselves to be in good case. Even then shall evil grow upon earth. Ladies and gentlemen, this Bible is talking about when times was affordable. When we thought things was sweet, but underneath the surface, everything was being built up and cultivated for this time that we're in now. We thought it was sweet when, housing was affordable. Everything was everything when they were going to war, pillaging other countries for their resources, practicing their colonialism and their imperialism. We thought everything was sweet. But guess what? Now the roosters have come back to crow. I think that's how the saying goes. Y'all know what I mean. Now we're getting the pushback from what America has been doing to maintain for the last 200 years. Now we're seeing the downfall. Middle America sat in ignorance. And now they're squirming, trying to figure out what's going on. Well, your Babylonian system is collapsing. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. And it's going to get a whole lot worse before God's people are freed. And this is what's going on with the American citizens.
You may soon need proof of citizenship just to access your own money. CNBC is now reporting that an executive order is being drafted so that banks can ask you for proof of your citizenship even for existing accounts. What this means is that if you don't submit your paperwork in time, your account could be restricted or even closed altogether. Please share this with someone who doesn't have a passport because half of Americans still don't. You may soon need proof of citizenship just to access your own money. CNBC is now reporting that an executive order is being drafted so that banks can ask you for proof of your citizenship even for existing accounts. What this means is that if you don't submit your paperwork in time, your account could be restricted or even closed altogether.
See, and they are ramping up this surveillance state. And they did it all under the auspices of illegal immigration. However, for those who haven't caught the news, ICE was just awarded billions of dollars for surveillance technology. Everything from biometrics to social media, spying, everything. Facial recognition technology. They were given apps. They were given access to databases. Billions of dollars was just approved by the DHS to give to ICE. So, they're sitting here trying to get this Agenda 2030 popping. Meanwhile, it seems that they're consolidating everything else.
Spirit Airlines shut down overnight, and the way I feel so terrible for these employees that just lost their jobs. If you didn't think that the economy was bad before, this should be your sign that it is terrible. It is shit. And the Trump administration is really ass. And they just announced a few weeks ago that Spirit Airlines was one of the safest airlines to fly on. And now they want to get rid of it. What a coinky dink. Yo, this is so messed up. And now people can't travel with affordability. I mean, we have Frontier, but who wants to fly Frontier? For real, for real. Oh my goodness, I feel horrible. And then to the people who had travel plans, now they have to come up with new travel plans. Hopefully they got refunds and all of that. This sucks so bad. This is scary. And this is just the beginning. Who knows what else is to come?
She said that right. It is the beginning. And Spirit Airline was the safest. They actually had never had any planes crash ever. So the Bible tells us in Sirach 13 and 19, it says, as the wild ass is the lion's prey, so the rich eat up the poor. That's a power imbalance that Sirach is explaining. That's a system that favors those who are up top but doesn't care about those who are at the bottom. That's a system where the workers are always going to be the ones to take the hit. All of these layoffs we seeing is literally biblical prophecy. And we're going to get more into it because it's a lot more layouts than a lot of us have been informed about. And it's not just from Spirit Airlines.
We have some news right now. Spirit Airlines.
Did you hear what's being built in the U.S. right now?
Stargate. Put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it in the future. A new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure.
The data centers are actually under construction. The first of them are under construction in Texas, the Abilene location, which is our first location.
Abilene is a town on the western central plains of Texas. We kind of scratch and fight for everything good that comes our way.
I had people reaching out and they said, well, is the president going to come see you? And I said, well, he hasn't texted me yet. So.
I'm thrilled we get to do this in the United States of America. I think this will be the most important project of this era.
Welcome to Abilene, Texas. This is the site of Project Stargate, a very mysterious, much talked about, much speculated about project that brings together OpenAI.
Look, Trump told you Stargate is coming. 500 billion towards this project, more billions towards ICE. And this right here is going to be a real, this is equivalent to a fourth economic revolution, as well as a new industrial revolution. This is going to change everything. This is why I keep on saying, man, you know, things are not going to be the same anymore. The things that we used to do 10 years, 20, 30 years ago, man, all of that got to change. We got to change our whole perspective about how the world operates and how to maintain in this type of world that we're in. Because this open AI, this project Stargate, this is some real like sci-fi channel, actually Stargate. If you ever seen the show or movie Stargate, they're telling you exactly what it is. This is out of this world. You know, this is some hyper terrestrial celestial stuff going on. Hyper celestial is what this is. But anyway, let's go.
SoftBank, Oracle. If it all comes together, building after building on this red dirt behind me will be filled with chips that'll power the AI revolution.
What we're undergoing right now is sort of the largest infrastructure build in human history. It's going to create new ways of doing business, it's going to create new ways of invention, and it's going to really drive humanity forward.
So the food and water supply are tainted and poisoned. And instead of doing something about that, $500 billion, I'm pretty sure could even feed the world fully organically. We're doing AI stuff. And you don't think there's an agenda going on here? If you want to hear the other side of the story that goes a lot deeper than this, comment the word Rumble below and I'll send you a link to my live stream channel. It's free speech, free to download, and free to watch. Comment Rumble, check your DMs, make an account, follow me there, and turn on live notifications so you catch my uploads. Did you hear?
Yep, this is the largest construction the largest construction project in U.S. history. The largest, $500 billion. And that's brought to you by the Trump administration.
This is a reminder. While ICE is terrorizing Mexicans and immigrants of everywhere, and really Americans as well, I'm at the Mexican border right now, and this is what it looks like in the mornings on any given Thursday while people need their dental work done. Any given Thursday, it's all Americans coming to get their dental work done because you know why? They can't afford to get their dental work done in the States. And Mexico welcomes us in with open arms. We all come with our passports and we get our dental work done. We get our glasses, we get everything, and then we go home. Make it make sense. This is a reminder.
And I got a real question for a lot of Republicans out there Now, when I ask this question, I want to be clear. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm a free thinker. However, I got a question. Since Donald Trump has got rid of all the Mexicans, has America gotten great yet? Is it great now? That's the question I got. I know they can't answer that, but
the reality is, this is the future. Regardless on what they tell you the future is, this is the future. We are at a point where sooner than later, it won't be food accessible as easy it is accessible right now, and this is currency. Because people need this to live. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that the farm is the engine of the nation, the civilization. It's necessary. We need to build around the farm. This is the most important component of the car. But in the future, this is it. No matter if somebody had $100 million, with a dollar drop, what are you going to do? No matter what you drive, no matter where you live, no matter who you think you are, you need this food, right? They're buying up all the land and producing all this fake meat, and they're spraying all these pesticides with these carcinogens all over the food. People gonna want food. This is the wealth. This is the future. The reality is, this is,
and that's just the God honest truth. Now, I want to share something with y'all, because within the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of major layoffs. Everything from Amazon offices. I mean, listen, different delivering companies. There's been massive layoffs, massive. And nobody's really talking about it, but we're going to go there. And I want to go to this particular video here where it goes inside of Meta, Amazon offices, and how they've been hit with just massive layoffs. And this is going to cover everything that you need to understand when it comes to all of this lack of job security. Peep this. And also, before we even go there, you know what? I want to pivot. I'm gonna go here, but I want to pivot. Something else I want to read with y'all real quick, because the gentleman, he was just talking about the food is the real currency. And you know what? There's something I want to share in regards to that as well, because he makes a very valid point. And in actuality, there's some other things going on that I think we need to see. Speaking of that, now you can just Google this. I don't know if y'all can see this right here, but I'm going to read this to you. It says, as early as May 2026, retail fertilizer prices have experienced a significant surge, which may keep nutrients rising by double-digit percentages compared to the previous months, driven by geopolitical conflict in the Middle East, particularly affecting nitrogen supplies. Key fertilizer price trends, May 2026. Listen, led the price surge, with prices rising to over $800 a ton, a 35% increase. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to bring our goods sky high in the grocery stores. This right here is serious news, because the soil is what's used to produce the agriculture, and the price of the soil is going up. We're missing out on vital minerals like nitrogen to enrich the soil to be able to actually produce. So as the prices of that soil go up 35%, that is going to bring the groceries up as well. All right. And it also tells us that androgenous ammonia jumped over the 1,000 ton level for the first time since April 2023. UAN Solutions has surpassed $500 a ton, has been increased of 17 to 20%. Man, this is bad. These have also increased, that's DAP and MAP potash, and the average is around $866 a ton. Now this just is a major increase. It's a major increase. So now that's also going to allow them to bring in more chemical fertilizers. And anytime you want, which means the organic food is probably going to go up higher. You know, anything organic, anything actually, actually being grown naturally is going to cost more. That's what it looks like is going on, y'all. And we're going to get to these layoffs too.
We have some big news regarding the Spirit shutdown. So Spirit Airlines shut down today. The Trump administration is blaming Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg, the former transportation secretary, over what they claim led to the shutdown, not the fact that there was soaring jet fuel prices because of the war in Iran that exacerbated an already existing problem, but they're putting the blame on Biden and Buttigieg. Now, meanwhile, we now have confirmation that due to the Spirit shutdown, about 17,000 employees and contractors will lose their jobs effective today. Also, the Trump administration is telling you, if you have a Spirit Airlines flight that you've had booked, don't go to the airport. There will be no one to assist you. A number of airlines are offering support to try to book a flight, but there are plenty of passengers now stranded across the country due to this shutdown. I'll have more updates for you soon. As always, spread the word. Follow along.
Yep. So you got Trump out here blaming Biden. He the one who brung us the war.
$17,000 jobs lost in the aftermath of Spirit Airlines announcing it's closing its doors following Donald Trump failing to negotiate a deal to rescue them. Meaning your gas costs on the rise led to businesses like Spirit Airlines no longer remaining affordable for that of working class Americans who needed a budget-friendly airline. So thanks to Donald Trump, unemployment's up, your gas costs are up, you have a war in the Middle East, and affordability airlines like that of Spirit are closing their doors. Thanks, Trump. You did it, right? MAGA, this is what you wanted? 17,000.
We have literally just entered into a global lockdown. Not like the lockdowns we remember back in 2020. These ones are an energy lockdown, and it has begun. Airlines are cutting flights. They are highly suggesting people not leave home unless it's for essential travel. Some countries even capped the speed limit at 50 miles per hour on the freeways and highways. They are highly suggesting you work from home. And honestly, a lot of people haven't gotten hit with the electricity bill yet because it is going to skyrocket. And I feel like when that happens, a lot of people won't even be able to afford to leave the house. It's wild. It makes me think.
That's what I was trying to explain a couple weeks ago, that oil is the Earth's blood. You know, that's the Earth's lifeline. You know, so with these oil prices going up to staggering amounts, it is going to affect energy. Everything is ran off of oil. So what you got to understand is that it's going to affect our electric bills. There's a lot of things that is going to really skyrocket because of the Strait of Hormuz being closed. Strait of Hormuz provides the Earth's about 40% of the world's oil, about 40%. And I know some people are wondering, like, how is America running low on oil already when, you know, they just kidnapped Venezuela president and, you know, claim that they took over their oil supply. Well, you got to understand, America does not have any mitigation systems. They don't have any. They don't have no way of producing the oil. And when they went over there to try to expedite the process of Venezuela producing oil, they don't even know. They can't even do it. They're having a hard time doing it. They don't have the know-how. America is built on utter tyranny, steal from other people. But now that the dollar is collapsing, man, they're losing power. They're losing power, but let's go.
Think back to 2020 when the lockdowns turned into mandates, and then it was only going to be 2 weeks, and then it turned into 2 years. Like, are we about to repeat something like that? And in my other video, I did say this whole thing is panning out to look like it falls perfectly in line with like the digital and EV agenda. But what do I know? You guys let me know what you think in the comments. We have literally just entered into a global lockdown, not like the lockdowns we remember back in 2020. These ones are an energy lockdown, and it has begun. Airlines are cutting flights. They are highly suggesting people not leave home unless it's for essential travel.
We're watching it happen. We're watching it happen.
Once you leave America, you ain't never going back. You guys got to realize, I understand they always want to feed us the dream, the American dream. You're going to live your best life, the land of the free. Bro, that shit's bullshit. The minute you leave America, you realize your money goes a lot further. You could literally have your best life for barely any damn money. I came from New York, to be honest. In New York, I was spending over $5,000, $6,000 just have a mediocre damn life. Now, your boy's in a whole private condo out here in the damn Philippines paying $600, everything included, bro. There's no way I'm going back. Just wake up and realize they're trying to brainwash your ass. The American dream. That shit bullshit. Once you leave America, you ain't never going back. You guys.
I think traveling is important in this day and age. I think traveling is extremely important. Explore the world. If you can, explore. You may discover life outside of this mess that we got here. Danica, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. She says the fight is on the way. Absolutely. The Most High is going to send his son Christ to intervene on our behalf. But in the meantime, in between time, we got to do as the scriptures tell us, Thank you for the support. And the scriptures tell us to gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. Gather yourselves together, O nation not desired.
The Strait of Hormuz remains closed, and gas prices here in the U.S. marking a new high tonight, now at their highest point in 4 years. And of course, it's not just gas, it's diesel used to deliver goods and groceries, and the prices you're now paying. So let's bring in Elizabeth Schulze tonight on where things stand. Elizabeth?
David, gas prices today hit their highest level in 4 years. The average price for a gallon of gas now $4.20. That's up $1.26 since the start of the Iran war. With peace talks stalled and no sign that oil tankers will start moving anytime soon through the Strait of Hormuz, oil prices are still climbing. Americans are reminded every time they fill up their cars, but what they might not know is that the cost of diesel, which is used to transport just about everything, is up 45%. That is even more than gas, and that's driving up costs like shipping packages and groceries. Business owners I've talked with say they are paying twice as much now for fuel surcharges, and the longer this goes on, David, the higher those prices could go. David.
Elizabeth Schulze with us tonight. Elizabeth, thank you.
As long as this goes on, the higher those prices will go. And it's not just talking about gas prices, all prices. And the Bible told you that in the last days, a loaf of bread will be a day's wages. They are officially going through the financial reset. Now, I'm going to go here to show y'all some of these layoffs. And also, there's news that actually covered the fact that groceries are going to go up sky high. And we got to talk about that as well. We got to talk about that in the spirit of, getting prepared. Let's go.
Defense Ministry plans to. South Korea will send 5 Korean-flagged ships to the Saudi Arabian Red Sea port of Yanbu.
Global tech layoffs. Let's spotlight this for a second.
Billions of dollars were saved, all in the pursuit of pivoting towards artificial intelligence-led productivity models. But what's often forgotten is that these are not just numbers on a balance sheet. These are real people with real livelihoods to sustain and real responsibilities like loans, school fees and daily living costs. Families anxiously waiting for what comes next. Well, we're just over 3 months into 2026 and already 51,000 jobs have been cut in just the first 3 months from the payrolls of the following companies. Oracle has laid off around 30,000 employees. That's nearly 18% of its workforce. Amazon has eliminated around 16,000 roles. And companies like Meta.
Amazon, in just the first 3 months of 2026, has eliminated 60,000 jobs. You got major tech layoffs And it seems like these layoffs are intensifying day by day.
And Atlassian have also trimmed their workforces amid restructuring. As a result, social media, especially forums like Reddit, are filled with raw, unfiltered reactions.
My manager got laid off. He received about 10-month salary as severance. The office has no laughter, only soulless conversations. Those who weren't laid off are trying to leave.
Well, across social media platforms, people who have lost their jobs talk about feeling empty and scarred about their future. Even those who survived layoffs are struggling with guilt, anxiety, and uncertainty. Perhaps the most jarring stories are not about newcomers, but those who gave decades to their companies. One user wrote about her former partner who had given 25 years of his life to the company. Meanwhile, finding a new job has proven to be a challenge for many.
Now imagine working somewhere for 25 years and you just get that phone call like, we're not going to need you no more. We got AI and everything is becoming automated. So, hey, pack your desk up. It's time for you to leave. You know, we're going to give you about a 10-month severance pay. And good luck. Best of luck to you. That's what's happening. And, you know, this right here is what the Bible talks about when it says in Proverbs 27:1, it says, boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what day may bring forth. That's why, you know, we talk about, man, you can't really hold on to nothing in this life. Nothing is promised. The whole idea of job security is an illusion. When you really truly understand that it's the Most High that's keeping you afloat, that is life-changing. When you can really put your faith in the Most High and know that He is the one who provides for you. Even if you have a job or whatever the case is, and I'm not telling you not to have a gig and make ends meet and provide what you need, but never lose sight of the fact that He's the one that makes sure you good. He's the one. Because sometimes people put faith in these jobs, and that was the reason why during the pandemic, people was lining up with Dr. Kevorkian and them getting that, you know what, because they thought the job was the thing keeping them afloat. When if they would have passed the test and said, no, I'm not going to get no needle because you want me to work here, the Most High would have made a way for them. That was a test. And now, right now, you got people paying for unvaccinated sperm and all kind of stuff going on. You had all these people who passed away, and we don't know what happened. We just know they were getting blood clots. Telling you.
In the 8 months since I was laid off, I've managed to secure 2 interviews. I never made it past the phone screen. The second interview I felt good about, but I was informed that the company was pausing hiring. After 3 years as a CW, then interviewing and securing my job lasting 2 more years as FT, they finally dumped me. My previous meets most or exceeds suddenly became below expectations, which were erroneously inconsistent with my past performances.
And it's clear that the reason is often not about performance, but about cost.
My friend was earning a good salary, and suddenly he was fired August midweek by Oracle. He is unable to get a job since then. Income crashed from 1.5 lakhs to 0.
Well, the tech industry is not just restructuring, it's redefining the value of human labor in the...
And see, everybody think that they got job security until some damn overnight layoffs. I know them people at Spirit Airlines was not expecting that. Those 60,000 people at Amazon, another 30, 40,000 people at this other company. What is this? Oracle and Meta. They wasn't expecting this. Psalms 127:1 says, except the Lord build the house, their labor in vain that build it. That means you can work, you can grind, you can build, and still you can lose everything. You know, people gave years to these companies and still got cut. They still got cut.
Age of AI. Some say CEOs are using AI as a convenient excuse for cutting staff, which they had planned to do anyway. Blaming the machines somehow seems less the fault of the company. But behind every number is someone clearing their desks, recalculating their savings, and wondering what comes next. Now, a daring US rescue mission inside Iran to extract an airman stranded behind enemy lines has been making headlines around the world. We'll bring you.
As you can see, man, these layoffs are very real. These layoffs are real. And then also, about 2 weeks ago, the news had aired something that I thought was very interesting. And they interviewed a bunch of economic experts who expected the increase by April 29th. Well, now was like the second. It's May 2nd now, and they were right on point. They were right on point. I want to share this with y'all real quick. Because, you know, we're watching everything happening. It's happening.
Director of Economic Policy at Veda Partners, Henrietta Trace, has promised, and former senior advisor for Arab-Israeli negotiations at the U.S. State Department. Aaron David Miller, he's also a senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. Let's talk about the blockade first itself. How is it working so far, Inzamam?
Well, it seems that there are a number of U.S. Navy vessels around the entrance to the Strait of Hormuz. But the big question is how does this militarily actually work? And that's the big question. I don't think many people truly understand what President Trump's plan is here. Can they actually seize vessels? Do they just kind of go up towards some of the ports on the coastline of Iran and sit there and threaten any ships from leaving or coming in? There are big question marks about the actual logistical situation where essentially if President Trump has introduced today a few hours ago.
Let's go. Economic experts say to expect increase in grocery prices by April 29th. Let's go here. I have to fast forward a little.
Came back with a number under 10. If that is in fact the case, then we actually may have a serious negotiation.
Over the summer, I mean, it's already pretty priced in for how long? The oil prices as we see them now and the gas prices. For how much longer will these gas prices be as high as they currently are?
Well, right now we're off the highs. We're at $102. But just for anybody watching at home, I mean, you wiped out your entire benefit of the one big beautiful bill and the overtime on tips that President Trump was talking about in the Oval Office just a minute ago, about $19 ago. So not only are we escalating, the ships are not flowing through the strait at anywhere near the rates that they were before the bombing started. The president has suggested that as many as 35 ships have gotten through. That's cool, but we used to have 130 ships per day. And the reports are coming in that Chinese ships are being turned around and are not being permitted access through the strait. So what happens, and really the way that I'd look at it, is that gas is your first indicator. What comes next is shipping. And by that, I mean transit across America on trucks that you see for Amazon or Target or Walmart. Those are all now more expensive. Diesel prices are well above $5 at this point nationwide. What happens after that is your food gets more expensive. Everything that you're buying on the shelves at Walmart that got delivered from those trucks coming through paying diesel prices, they came off of this strait and came out of oil and gas prices that are 21% higher and leading directly to inflation. So
you got a double whammy right here. You got the soil that's going to cost more for things that are agricultural. And then we have to pay the price for the shipping of the rest of our goods because of the fuel that's being used. Wow. Ghost Dog, thank you for the scripture here. It says, second Esdras, 8 and 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because their hall walked in great pride. That's right. Well, you know what the scriptures also tell us? Pride come before the fall. America is cooked. I don't know, man. I've been calling from the rooftops, man. I've been shouting, I've been crying aloud, sparing not. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's cooked. It's really headed downhill in Babylon.
Oxford Economics is anticipating that inflation will hit 4%, and that means no Fed rate cuts. That means Fed rate hikes. Your mortgage is more expensive. It's harder to create a new business. You're talking about a seize up structurally. Gas is just the first thing that we see.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about food prices. What's going to happen with my groceries? How much higher are they going to go?
Well, if gas is up 20%, you should see the ripple effects that are pretty substantial. 40 to 50% of the cost of your food comes from the cost of fertilizer and everything that's locked up in the strait. So
because that fertilizer, everything locked up in that strait is going up. It's going up. So now this is not a hypothetical situation anymore. Let's get past the weirdos who want to say fear mongering, right? Let's get past let's get past all the people who want to put their head in the sand for a second, and let's be tangible. Let's be very practical right now. As God's people, let's look at what's all the writings on the wall, and let's think for a second. Let's lock in. Let's lock in with our prayers. Let's lock in with our lifestyles. Let's lock in with our discernment. Let's turn to these scriptures. Let's start to unite and connect with people who think like you, because it's real. Isaiah 3:12 says, "O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to error and destroy the way of thy paths." America has been full of wicked leadership that's been misguiding the people. The system is not protecting the workers. And the people in charge are not leading people into any levels of stability at all. There's no stability with these people. They think that we are useless eaters, that they can continue to feed bread and circus and lead us to destruction for our lack of knowledge. That's where it's at right now.
Nitrogen, urea, all of the fertilizer components are about half of the cost of your food. So if that is—
And this was weeks ago. And now it's happening. It's coming to fruition.
That's locked up in the strait. So nitrogen, urea, all of the fertilizer components are about half of the cost of your food. So if that is increasing from, what was it, $70 a barrel before the bombing started, and now we're at 102, that's going to compound. And I suspect that as we get into seize up territory with these tankers, which is where we continue to be, you're going to—
We're looking at $30. We're looking at $30 to $40 for 2 chicken breasts. We're looking at, listen, you're looking at a gallon of milk, $20. You're looking at $15 to $16 eggs. You're looking at a box of crackers. You're looking at a box of crackers for $10. Because of the fertilizer, you're looking at potatoes going up. We're talking about potatoes that normally you can get a pound for about $5. Think about a pound of potatoes for almost $15. Now, the average American household cannot maintain this. And this is what we've been warning about for years now, that this time would come. And it's getting there. The Bible been warning about it. It told you that a day's wage is going to be a loaf of bread at some point. So what's happening? Incrementally, they're ushering that system in. It's happening incrementally. And I don't know about y'all, but when you can see what's going on, there's times where you get this overwhelming feeling that you should be doing something. How many of y'all have felt like, you know what, it's something I should be doing, but you can't put your finger on what it is you should be doing? By show of ones in the chat, if you see what's going on in the world and you know it's something you should be doing, but you don't quite know what it is, but you have this feeling that you have to prepare somehow for this time, just by show of ones, if you felt that. Because I'm going to tell you, the Most High is really jarring at our spirits in this time to lock in and think about something more than ourselves. Because that feeling that y'all got is not necessarily about you specifically. It's about the future. It's about life. It may be about your children, and it may be about your children's children. But I know that the Most High is provoking his people to thought. How many of you all have felt for a while that you're not free? And that in a system like this, you have never really experienced what freedom is. How many of y'all have felt it? You never really experienced what it's like to actually be free without living paycheck to paycheck and letting money dictate everything, your whole existence. How many of y'all had just gotten tired of uncertainty, feeling like a hamster on a wheel? If you felt that, the Most High is calling you. And he's not just calling you so you would know what's going on. He wants you to know, but he wants you to vote with your feet too, man. He wants you to be action oriented, because the Bible says faith without works is dead. We can talk all day about what's going on, but if we don't put together no works, if we don't support one another, if we don't hold each other accountable, if we don't try to curate something, then we just got faith with no works. Now, of course, the Most High is going to send his son to divinely intervene, but we are given a decree as well. We are the Most High's battle axe. We are not supposed to stay stagnant. We're not supposed to do what the rest of the world is doing. Do y'all know in Texas, they warned of a damn zombie apocalypse? Yeah, they were actually handing out brochures in community centers about, listen, in case of zombies. So what I'm trying to express to you all, they're trying to hit us from every angle. Biological warfare, starvation, psychological warfare, desperation, austerity. Ghost Dog, Baruch 4:25, it says, my children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from God, for thine enemy have persecuted thee, but shortly thou see his destruction and shall tread upon his neck. That's right. And we got to position ourselves under the hedge of protection of the Almighty to make sure we tread over these people's necks. Peep this.
We're at 102, that's going to compound. And I suspect that as we get into seize up territory with these tankers, which is where we continue to be, you're going to see that continue to escalate. And for diesel, it's worse. And that's, of course, what the farmers not only use for fertilizer, but to run their tractors, to run all their farm equipment. I mean, the prices trickle out. We should start to see that hit around April 29th.
Inzi, what about
she said this 2 weeks ago. She said it's going to happen about April 29th. We're actually starting to see it. It's going to happen within this this up and coming week. It's already started. It's already started because now the news is starting to talk about this issue with the soil.
The Middle East broadly, the neighbors of Iran, we've been talking a lot about how some neighbors want to see potentially the U.S. keep going, go further, make sure that they really dismantle this regime, because leaving it in place and still in a powerful position or a position of leverage puts them all at greater risk now. Is that still the case? Are they putting pressure on Donald Trump to stay or to go?
Well, when you look at the broader GCC, the Gulf countries, Katie, the problem that you have now is that because of this conflict and because of the way the US has been operating, even the way Israel has been operating and how Iran has been responding, you've now effectively got a GCC which is all pretty broken. They've all got their own ideas of what they want out of this conflict, what they want in terms of a conclusion to this war. Here in the UAE, for example, the Strait of Hormuz is very much top of the agenda right now. And so they've actively said is that we will help the US in any efforts to try and open up the Strait of Hormuz. It's still on.
I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of what we see in regards to this war is staged. I don't have no love for the Iranians. I don't have no love for the Americans for what they've done. And I want to be very clear about that. You know, them Iranians are maniacs, just like Trump said, because they're over there willing to self-destruct. If that means destroying the world, they can stop at any time, but they're not. Why? Because they're maniacs. Make no mistake about it. They worship a false god too. And, you know, I don't really care how people feel about what I'm saying. You know, and the reason I can say this so boldly is because I know the history. I know that the Middle Easterns over there, I know that they worship a false god. They serve the Kaaba stone over there in Mecca. They stick their head in there and be kissing a damn rock. Before Islam was Islam, it was Persian mythology. They worship pots, pans, and spoons. Muhammad was a pedophile. It's in the Quran. It said he fondled 9-year-old Asia while she was prepubescent. I read it. So I don't got no love for them people. Muhammad owned 700 black slaves. He was a warmonger who plagiarized the Quran, stole from our biblical texts. We never got the credit. I don't care about them. In America, they're even worse because they're Baal, Satan worshiping, child sacrifice, Moloch worshipers. You're looking at the battle of two evils that are basically creating a complete economic reset. And a lot of it is scripted. Why? Because they want to bring in a new world order and they want to bring problem, reaction, solution. And that's just the factuals. I see a lot of people out there trying to give up Jesus Christ to go follow Allah. And, you know, at the end of the day, I'm talking about people giving up the real Jesus Christ, as the scriptures have written. But we don't follow no white God, and we don't follow no Middle Eastern God. I mean, listen, it's just the truth. We ain't following no white God or no Middle Eastern God. All of them are savages. That's why, you know, they over there war torn right now. And that's why we over here suffering and getting a rude ass awakening. Because both sides are evil. Yeah, they running the whole Hegelian dialect on the whole public. Actors performing on a stage. Everything is scripted. You can't fool us. We God's people. We see everything. Y'all came together, all you nations of the earth came together in crafty counsel and said, let us cut the real children of Israel, God's people, from being a nation. That's what the Bible said. Y'all came together all under one accord. Ain't none of y'all giving us our 40 acres and a mule. Ain't none of y'all giving us nothing. And if you choosing one side or the other, that's part of the whole play. That's part of keeping you asleep. All of these people going to eliminate each other, and God's people going to rule. And we're going to rule for 1,000 years with Christ, our Messiah. And the Bible tell you that the Middle Easterns, they so damn wild. It tell you after the 1,000-year reign, they're going to try to come back and overthrow that throne. So we prepared to go knuckle up with y'all too. We prepared to go in with y'all too. I'm not one of them people online talking about we don't want no beef with y'all. Nah, the hell with y'all. Y'all follow a fake God. Y'all not fooling me with Lego commercials. I'm sorry. Or Lego AI cartoons. I don't care. The problem is our people been wanting retribution and we ain't got it. And we're not demanding nothing short. We don't need your entertainment. We don't need none of that. We need our gold, fools. We need the gold from Solomon's temple. We need all that. We need our land, fools. We need tangibles. We want our own country. Listen, I'm telling you right now, we're not your slaves. Neither one of, listen, America, Middle Easterns, we ain't y'all slaves. Anyway, Selah, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. It says, thank you for being one of the only voices speaking real truth. God bless and praise the Most High. All praises. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Y'all know how I get, man. Sometimes I get to chopping it up, but let's continue here.
Unclear, even though some of my conversations with senior UAE ministers today, whether in fact they would send Navy ships to the Strait of Hormuz to assist President Trump's Navy to essentially blockade some parts of the Strait of Hormuz, to blockade Iranian oil leaving, but they are essentially on standby, and it's something that they could do. Then, of course, you've got Saudi Arabia, on the other hand, who've been very close contact with Pakistan, particularly over the weekend when these negotiations were happening. And then you go to the other extreme, you've got Oman. Oman, once again, calling for peace. They have that positivity and that optimism that, in fact, Vice President J.D. Vance, the delegation that went to Islamabad, and Iran can come to some form of agreement. And they want to see that happen before this war gets even more messy than it already is. So you've still very much got a fragmented GCC. One good sign is that Iran isn't sending as many missiles or drones into the GCC as it has been doing over the last 6 weeks. Yes, there were a few in Bahrain today, but it has been a lot quieter. So
if all of the warfare, the physical warfare has stopped, why the hell they ain't opening the Strait of Hormuz? If nobody is bombing anybody, if there's no real fighting going on, there's no ground troops, there's no missiles and bullets flying, why them Iranians ain't open the damn strait up? Because they crashing out. They don't care what happens. And on top of that, I would not be surprised if this is some type of agreement behind the scene with these false gods and these false leaders to, do a complete reset. Because it don't make sense. Why not open a strait if nobody's going to war? I mean, we got to think about what's really happening here. And y'all know how we do it now. We're going to pivot over to what people are saying. What are the people in Babylon saying? What are the citizens saying? That's how we do it. We cover the news and then we pivot over to what are the people talking about in the streets? How are people holding up mentally with all this going on? And y'all already know, shout out to Hebrew Hub. You already know what time it is. We're going to talk about the people and we're going to chop it up, iron sharpening iron. If y'all feel led by the Spirit, make sure you share the scriptures in the chat. Old School Rules, thank you for the support. She shares John 8:32. It says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Absolutely. Absolutely. People be hiding from the truth, but once you know it, it'll make you free. It may be a tough pill to swallow, but look, the Most High ain't trying to recruit no weak people. He wants strong soldiers in his army. Hold on one moment.
On April 15th, which means a couple things. One, gas prices are going to skyrocket. Yeah, we already knew this, and we said this last time, and they never skyrocketed. But I'll explain why it's really going to happen this time.
Telling y'all now, I am reporting this live from Virginia, Hampton, Virginia. Okay, Hampton, Virginia.
All right, we seen this on yesterday's stream, so I'm gonna go. There's another video I want to share. Let's see what the people were talking about. Let's go.
I want to talk to everyone seriously in my audience right now. And this is more than any other video. If you're watching this, it is very, very important that you keep watching, okay? And I'm going to lay it to you guys straight. The United States economy is about to collapse the hardest it's ever collapsed of all time. I'm telling you. I'm talking famines. I'm talking no recollection of going on. I'm talking power outages. I'm talking everything. And the only people who are going to be comfortable in this time are the people who hold the money within our system, which would be our elected officials, which would be the mega rich and the elite. They are going to be holding all the money. They're going to be the ones living in comfort while the rest of us have to fend for ourselves because the economy is collapsing. Why is it happening? Real question. Why is it happening? Well, I believe everything is spiritual, but I'm going to tell you the actual physical reason, okay? We are at war. That is not a lie. As much as our president wants to lie to us and say, no, negotiations are happening. No, the country that we are in a fight with, they don't like us. They never have liked us. They don't like us. We hurt their leader. Their leader, if they hurt our leader, we're fighting them, right? It's the same thing with them. We hurt their leader and they aren't the type to just give up. They don't give up. And the thing about that is America knew that before they did this. And that's why we've never attacked them until now, because they martyr. It's different from being just a mean country with, weapons. No, I'm talking they martyr. They make sure that we get our revenge no matter what. So what does this in turn have to do with your economy? Trade routes are going to close. We're going to have disconnect with a lot of other countries that we normally connect with. And that would be China, that would be Russia, that would be many different parts of many different globes. And also in Africa, where we get most of our work from and our minerals and our everything that we get our stuff from, Africa is not going to have it. Africa is not going to have it. They are already running out of stuff. They're in a famine themselves. It has started there in other countries where we take advantage of. So there's three factors here. The countries we take advantage of no longer have the material and it's now finite.
Mm-hmm.
The other countries that we trade with to get the material whenever we're not able to farm it ourselves are no longer going to be trading with us. And we're in the middle of a war, and that war is essentially going to be the main primary focus for where all of our money goes. And the elites have nothing to do but make more money off of those wars.
Mm-hmm.
Your economy inside of all three of those, sometimes it's been one, sometimes it's been two, but it's never been all three at the same time simultaneously. We've never been in a war, had a famine in other countries and a shortage of supplies, and also are not able to trade with other countries because they don't like us. So when all of those things happen at the same time, guess what? We suffer as Americans. They've been suffering, by the way. All these other countries have been suffering. There's oil shortages, there's power outages. They're trying their best to live. Americans are actually more comfortable than most other nations, extremely more comfortable. So it's important that you know. It's important that you know that it's coming, and very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Your family, your friends, and more are going to suffer.
And I want to say this: the suffering has already began. And I got some scriptures, and I'm going to show you how the suffering has already began in a tangible sense. In a tangible sense. When you go to the book of Haggai, 1:6, it says, ye have sown much and bring in little. He that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes. Now imagine living in a society where you work, but you can't keep what you earn. It feels like the money just disappears. You're working, but everything is slipping through your hands. And to add insult to injury, you own nothing. Not saying that there's not a few people that may be viewing right now. You may own a few things. You may have some tangibles, but the mass majority do not. So that is a form of suffering in many ways. And a man's heart goes to what he works for, what you labor in. There's a great pain when you put your work into something, you put your labor into something, and you don't get what you deserve. That's suffering. That's real suffering. Proverbs 6:15 tells us, therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. Suddenly he be broke without remedy. Now, of course, we know that that's coming to the powers that be. However, if you invest into the powers that be without being set apart, that will be your ending as well. So you got to move different. What used to work don't work anymore. Positions are not guaranteed in this satanic system. Ecclesiastes 9:11 tell you the race is not to the swift, neither yet bread to the wise, but time and chance happen to them all. Which means being hardworking and being dedicated to a company, that don't guarantee you no security, not in America. Being smart and determined in whatever field you choose, that doesn't necessarily equal security in this system. That's a form of suffering. Jeremiah 51:58 says, thus saith the Lord, the broad walls of Babylon shall utterly be broken. Yes, the young man is right. This system is failing. It looked stable before, but now look like it's collapsing. A whole lot of big institutions are starting to crack at the seams. So it will be judgment coming to Babylon. It will be judgment. Let us proceed.
I don't know about y'all, but bro, I had to get off news talk. Like every day was just like something negative, some new headline of how the world ending, how this gonna stop, how this gonna go up, to the point I'm like, bro, I'm in this bitch feeling depressed. I'm here feeling like my world is ending tonight. Maybe it was just me, but bro, I had to take a break. I don't want to know what's going on in the world no more. That makes my days feel terrible. I legit had to just put this mug down and say, no, I'm not watching no more.
Now, see, this is the mass majority's mentality right now. They want to ignore what's going on and also allow prophecy to make them feel, what would be the word? Petrified, afraid, nervous, anxious. That's not the feeling that we're supposed to have. Listen, I'm going to say this too, because I don't want this to be confused. everything we talking about is actually the good news, because of what we've been suffering and enduring in this time. Is going to come to an end. It's going to come to the end. And the news does try to promote and push trauma and fear. But see, this is the reason why we have platforms such as this one to actually disseminate the information and give the good news, to understand that you don't just turn away from what's happening. You got to be able to digest the truth and understand that we all, especially us brothers, we have an obligation to awaken those who may still be asleep, and we got an obligation to lead. We can't just ignore it. You know, that's the reason why we're in this situation now. You know, a lot of people saying, well, look, long as I'm taking care of this or taking care of that, I ain't worried about it. Look, don't want you to worry about it, but we want you to be vigilant. Somebody asked a good question. They says, why the U.S. not start drilling? We have more resources than the Saudis. Where is the drill, baby, drill? America has more stuff than any other country. That's what I was saying earlier, that they don't have a real mitigation system, a filtration system to produce oil. If you ever seen the Beverly Hills Hillbillies back in the day, you know, they were just, Jethro was out there digging in the yard and oil came up and American government bought the oil. But you don't see America actually drilling and digging oil. They don't do that. People be coming across oil in their backyard in different parts of Montana and Arizona, different parts, and they will sell it. And guess what the rich global elite do? They trade it. They trade it. You know, America does not have the damn know-how. America is not going to be drilling, bro. They're not going to be doing what it takes to get oil. So when Trump said, Trump is a liar. You know, it's like one of them things where you know that's what we should be doing. You know that's what we should be doing, drilling to get our own damn oil and putting ourselves on the global market with that. But they're not going to do that because Babylon is all about taking other people's stuff and comfort and luxury. Yeah. Yep. Hold on.
America is so compromised, nothing is even real anymore. The food is fake, the news is fake, the money is fake, the politics is fake. Everything is fake. But not only that everything is fake, nothing of value considered food has seeds in them. Nothing considered valuable food has any seeds in them. Have you noticed that? Mm-hmm. The other day I went to the store to get some groceries, some produce, and I discovered seedless cucumbers. Have you seen seedless cucumbers before? Our foods are so shitty, compromised, no value, no life in them. And on top of that, when you do find any produce or foods that so-called have seeds in them, those seeds have also been compromised. They are GMO enhanced. I can guarantee you, even if you plant them, your soil will become barren, or you won't be able to grow anything else on that soil or land because of the GMO seeds have compromised your land. And that's what I'm telling you all, my fellow humans on this planet. This planet is becoming more artificial, more unnatural, because the global power elites want it to be this way. They want control. They want power. Matter of fact, they already have power. They just want to keep us under control. Don't take my word for it. Pay attention, look around, and you can see it.
That's real talk. And, you know, it's created a certain environment, man. It just don't feel right in America. It's so fake out here. It's like we're living in a simulation of some sort. There's no authenticity, you know. And, you know, of course, if they're just feeding us GMO, you know, it's going to affect the minds of the people. And I do believe it does affect our mental health to a degree. All of the warfare that they got going against us, man. And how many of y'all can relate to what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't feel real, man. It's like you're living in some type of dream or something. It's like life is not lifing like it did in the 80s and 90s. And it's just a very, I would say it's a daunting time in a sense. Somebody says, that's why I fast. Yeah, fasting is good, you know. Somebody says, they took all the vitamins out the food and charge us for vitamins or water. Right. They charge us for supplements. Yeah, it feels like the Truman Show. And then, you know, you got this thing with ICE getting billions of dollars, y'all. That's really a major concern of mine. I talked a little bit about that yesterday, man. That really make you feel like you in a Truman Show. The fact that these people sat up there and told us that they was just trying to enforce legal migration or immigration, and these people are spying on American citizens. They're using facial recognition. They're using all kind of espionage tools. It's like we are living in post 9/11 times all over again. It's like the Patriot Act happened all over again under Trump. And it's like when you create an environment where you know you're being watched everywhere, everything you do, you're being tracked, it feels, you begin to feel that energy. Like the Rockwell song. Sometimes I feel like somebody watching me when nothing is safe. Like, imagine the Truman Show came out and we was like, man, that's crazy, man. You know, a man being watched, everything he do. Oh, man, that's wild. No, man, that's real life now. No privacy. They watching people take showers, bro. The cameras is going through walls. And then they taking it a step further, trying to dictate what you do. They trying to predict what you do and program what you do through these devices. And, you know, I wholeheartedly believe that there's a lot of people walking around under mind control and just don't know it. They don't even know why they do the things they do. They don't even realize that through their smartphones and computers, they've been exposed to subconscious manipulation. They've been exposed to thoughts, intrusive thoughts that actually got planted in their subconsciousness. And they don't even know why they're doing certain things. They don't even know why. They don't even understand that it's the power of suggestion that created these NPCs. And that's why it feels so fake. Human interaction nowadays is very, very weird, man. Very weird.
Are you prepared for the mark of the beast?
Oh, I've seen this one. We got to talk about these data centers, man. These data centers are the culprit to a lot of what's going on.
Hey, America. So today I delivered a load to a data center in South Carolina. And I'm going to tell you something about that data center that I seen. It looks like a prison. All right, listen to me. There's nothing but solid concrete walls and ventilation. I don't know why they would need something built like this for a data center, but I'm telling you now that these data centers have their own electric substations. I'm talking about with power cords, hey, to keep some stuff running. All right? But in all actuality, I'm telling you, these data centers look like encampments, concrete prisons. Now, I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Maybe they're not. Maybe they really are data centers. But I'm looking at data centers that they're going to have computers that hold data. And these places are the size of 10 Walmarts. All right? Like, how many servers must you have to where these are coming up all around the country? One of these data centers look like it should be able to hold the information of everyone in this country 100 times over.
Damn.
But they're popping up everywhere. Everywhere. Okay? And I'm telling y'all, I've seen some jails. I've seen some prisons. Listen to me. I don't think these no data centers. I'm honestly feeling like there's going to come a time where some of us have to put up, shut up, or be locked up. So America and Americans, y'all better stay frosty and keep your eyes open. We know the vast majority of you are going to fall in place. But some of us really enjoy our freedom. And some of us will fight for it.
Located at Camp Williams, Utah Data Center is a...
Yo, let me just chime in on what he just said, because he just dropped some dark truth about these data centers. Like, you know, this is really a deep dive. And I'm a kind of, you know, tread a little bit lightly on this platform when I speak on this, because, you know, they know that. And when I say they, I mean the so-called world powers. They know that we are the neurodivergent beings. And these data centers are used to study us. And I'm talking about the chosen ones. Of course, they study everybody and they collect data on everybody, but it's a specific gene pool. It's a specific type of people, a specific type of people that really get analyzed. And when you think of a data center, I want you to understand that the Truman Show is actually real. And what I mean by that, in a sense of some of the things that, and I don't want to spook anybody out. Please listen, I'm not going to go too deep with this, but let me say this. There are certain events that may transpire in our lives that are not coincidences. All right? They're just not coincidences. There are certain people that may cross our paths that are not coincidence. There's certain patterns that some of you all may recognize. Pattern recognition is important. What if I told you that a lot of things get studied? You got to think about it from the time that you are in elementary school. There is a dossier on your life. There's a record. They had something called a school counselor that you went to. You told the school counselor what was on your mind when you was a child. That school counselor was writing it down in a book. And I'm going to tell you, some of you brothers and sisters were diagnosed as neurodivergent. Some of you brothers and sisters was documented as chosen ones, just not in those words. Some of you all were ones who can see, and make no mistake about it, that is a threat to the New World Order. Now, this thing is spiritual. This thing is spiritual because it's really a battle against good and evil. So you got Satan's system running these data centers because he wants to be like the Most High. You know, the Most High, he know everything about us, ins and outs. Satan wants to be able to do the same thing, but he needs technology. He needs Nephilim technology. He needs the fallen angel technology to be able to try to attempt to mirror what the Most High does. So when you're one of the Most High's people, Satan gets obsessed with studying you even more. He gets obsessed with studying you even more. Now, I know that what I just said, it may sound like something sci-fi channel type stuff. I get it. However, the truth is stranger than fiction. It just is. And this is why we got to be locked in with the Most High, because the monitoring spirits are very real. Yep, we were called gifted. We were placed in certain categories. Some people who were diagnosed with attention deficit disorder were actually neurodivergent, actually being able to see things and feel things and be free in a way that everybody else can't. There's a lot of people who were put in what you would call special education. A lot of those people in so-called special education, they may be different how they conduct themselves, but they are special people. And some people who have special needs are some of the most kindest, gentlest, and have the best spirits out there. You ever notice that? Some people who are diagnosed special education, special needs, I worked for Goodwill for a couple of years, and I'm gonna tell you, they are the most kind, gentle spirits that are out there. So it's just certain categories. Now those kind, gentle spirits, it does something to the frequency of the planet. That's what we got to understand. We are vessels of light that produce certain energy. When you in Satan's system and you carry a certain frequency that produces positive energy, you become a threat to Satan's darkness. So you got to understand, this stuff is deep. And you just got to know. And you know, you hear me talking about this, but there's real meetings with scientists, all kind of people having these conversations that we having right now. They just on the opposite end of things. Let's continue here, because this is deep.
A large storage facility designed to store mass, and I do mean massive amounts of data. We're talking about in the exabytes. If you don't know what an exabyte is, this drawing is the best illustration I can give you. It's said that the data center can store all types of information about a given person. We're talking, you know, phone calls, we're talking emails, we're talking texts. We're talking as nitty-gritty as your visits to the bookstore, like your receipts. I mean, everything you can think about, your locations, where you went for the day. Given how we have biometrics, you know, detailing now, remember, you know, some of y'all like to log your sleep. They probably know your sleep pattern. Again, I ask it damn near every episode, you know, are your thoughts your own? But, you know, we're not here for that. We're not here for manipulation. We're here for surveillance. A spokesperson from the NSA came out and said, hey, before y'all get any bright ideas, no, we do not spy on U.S. citizens. And then a whistleblower, came out and was like, so, by the way, his name was Bill Benny, but whistleblower came out and he was like, so this project was initially to, you know, do surveillance on foreign intelligence, right? Foreign adversaries, foreign targets. But due to 9/11, things might have switched up a little bit. So, like I mentioned earlier, things changed.
Yeah, man, this is real talk. And this is the reason why gang stalking takes place. Certain people stand out in this system. And that's why they create street theater. They'll choreograph certain moves just to see your behavior. When they don't understand you, they will gaslight you and try to understand how you operate. The wisdom of Solomon and the Apocrypha talks a great deal about gang stalking and how they will watch you just to study your ways, just to see what makes you tick, what sets you off, all those things. It's real.
Sometimes as an American, I just be flat out feeling ungrateful and selfish and all the things, like just really taking a second to sit back and look at our reality here versus the reality of other people in other countries. There are genocides going on, mass rapes, people are starving, no electricity, no food. You can't walk outside without the fear of being either killed, kidnapped, or bombed. And I'm driving on the highway complaining about something that ultimately can be fixed. I don't know, and especially since I'm a very empathetic person, I really be sad. My heart sometimes is so heavy just knowing that other human beings are going through these things. And side note, it doesn't make it better that living in the United States, sometimes you really can't even talk to other people about what's going on in the world because they make it seem as if you're fear mongering or why are you talking about this like I'm killing a mood or something. Well, this is real life. This is real life, and it very well could be us. But since it's not, people don't care or they don't want to talk about it, and it be sad. It be really sad.
Yep, it's tough to speak the truth to a lot of people because they don't want to hear it. However, a lot of the things that she just listed is definitely coming to America. A lot of the times when we see this war, poverty, famine, when we see it happening overseas, we think, well, that's happening over there. I ain't worried about it because it's not going on over here. Well, the issue is the way we've been conditioned. The way we've been conditioned and is to be pretty much dog eat dog. And once things get really uncivilized because of the lack of bread in America, then you're going to see how real it is. Then you're going to see just how uncivilized Americans really are. You're going to see what it's really about. You're going to see that the war that we worried about is not really an external threat. It's really an implosion that we should be looking out for. That's what we should be looking out for. Hold on. Let's see. Zoltan says, when the crap hits, first the old people go, then the pregnant mothers with a big family, then after people who swimming in financial debt. Wow. It could go down that way. Yeah. Jasmine says, people don't care until they go through it. Most people don't believe what I've been through and go through. It is very real. Yep, that's true. People don't believe it until it's knocking at their door. That's the problem. Straw Hat, thank you. You was a member for 16 months. He says, much love and respect, brother Nubreed, brothers and sisters. Is it cool if I hop on a voice chat tonight before it ends? I'm gonna give you that because I did tell you the other day that I will open up for a guest for a little while. So I'm going to actually do that for you. And ladies and gentlemen, if y'all want to keep this thing going, make sure that y'all nothing short of interactive and also supportive as we break down this truth in real time. And that's a beautiful scripture right there, Old School Rules. It reads, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. That's right. The prudent foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. So if you're a prudent believer, you're not wrong for wanting to prepare and move accordingly. You're not wrong at all. And also the link to join is in there. If you want to jump on for a couple minutes, it's in the chat. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Like I said, I'm using a different software. If it doesn't work, those are my apologies. I can't troubleshoot it while I'm live. All right. Let's go.
For the ones that have been crashing out about what's been going on around the world, complaining about gas prices going up, this war that's happening right now, and other fear tactics that they are continuously creating. They've been doing it for millennia, for a long time, and wishing things would just go back to normal. Nothing is going back to normal. That old timeline is done. That old system is crumbling for a reason. This planet is going through a huge transition right now. It is necessary. With all these things happening, it needs to happen. It's necessary for most of the world that needs to wake up right now. For the ones that say that they want to go back to the way things were, that's like saying, I don't mind being a slave to the system. I don't mind paying for bills. Nothing ever made sense the way we lived our whole lives. Right. Just think about it. We've been living in this ghetto-ass world, this prison planet, that we've been incarnated here many, many times. For the ones that do know heavily about this, you know, and for the ones that don't believe in this, because some don't want to believe in incarnation, and that's okay. That's up to you, whatever you want to believe. But just think about it. We're not supposed to be living this way whatsoever. We normalized it. We accepted it the way things were. But now that system is crumbling. It is on its downfall. Like literally, it is falling apart. And that's the most amazing thing. And for most that don't believe in what's about to happen, they think that, oh, we're going to be controlled even more here and there. It's like, no, that was the old system. The one that's coming in, that's upon us right now, it's going to be the most amazing. It's going to be the most amazing system ever, should I say, in the most simplest language that I can speak of.
That is some real talk. Everybody just want things to go back to what it was, not understanding that the kingdom that's going to be ushered in is going to be something amazing. Like we shouldn't be striving for things to go back. And there was somebody else that joined. I believe it was Danica. If you want to try to join again, I'm going to go ahead and let you in. I think on this software I'm using, you have to do it right away. As soon as you see the name pop up, or it's not going to let you join. Somebody is in here. All I see is S. If you don't mind, if you could turn your camera on, or is that the person who wanted to do the voice message for a minute? Sendo. Y'all got to forgive me. This is my first time using this on this software. So are you there? Yeah, I don't know, y'all. I guess. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I don't know. It's my first time trying to use this. I see names popping up, but like it doesn't have a queue like the other software. So it's like if I don't hit it right away, the name just disappears. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Maybe one day I have to just do a stream where I really, because I used to open up the chat a lot, um, you know, but maybe another time I do it when I know what I'm doing. Let's see here. We can look at a couple more videos here and break them down. Let's see.
Waking up is so... Man, it's just fucking lonely. Like, today was just... It was just a hard day. It was supposed to be a day of celebration, you know. And, like... I just find myself...
Hold on.
crashing out, man.
Hold on one moment. Let's
I'm so fucking mad.
Let's pause that. Let's actually end that, and let me go ahead and engage with y'all. So I see this thing is working. Hey, how y'all doing? Been a minute since I've been able to just chop it up with the viewers, man. It's good to see y'all.
Good.
Shalom.
Shalom. Peace, peace. Peace be upon.
Peace, peace. So I'm gonna go ahead and go across the screen. We'll let Danica go ahead and chime in, and then we'll go to you. What's her name? Louisville Beats. Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right. What's going on with y'all though? What's going on, Danica?
My thing is that it's time for unity to come together, because the way things is going and I'm seeing everything happen and unfold, we gonna need each other. And the best thing that we can do is to come together and try to build something to get through this, big mess that we in right now in America, because it looks like they is just shutting us out and leaving us out to dry. And of course, we have our options and things that, places we want to go and be and everything else too. Of course, I want to stake my place on the land in, North Carolina. That's an option for me as well. And also my childhood friends, everyone calling me up, talking about the last days and how we living, and it's just getting too real out here. And it's time that we start thinking tangibly the way you be expressing and talking about on these videos and keeping us informed, I've always supported as much as I can and when I can as well. So,
Right.
peace and blessings. And, I'm down, for Nation of Israel, and I'm continuing to, keep the movement going as well.
Okay.
If anything,
Well-
I know the Gaddy family, so that's
Oh,
one of my
okay.
childhood friends. So
Oh,
he's
really?
connected. Yeah. So
Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, I just spoke with them like last week, I think. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
so
what's up.
beautiful family. I love them.
And that's they are. And that's what it's about right there. Just kind of uniting and networking. And I want what you just said should be a real example. Just us being plugged in. Certain families just networking, just knowing each other, knowing of each other. And also, ladies and gentlemen, if you're viewing, you could get together with your tribe, maybe some people near you. This is not necessarily a situation where we're pleading with you to follow. I'm pleading with you to follow me somewhere or follow us or connect. Listen, you may have just a few good people that you know, some friends and family, you know, and just say, hey, you know, let us get a little plot of land, a couple acres, and hey, you know, let's start some businesses together. Those are the kind of things that are tangible things that some of you all may just want to talk to your families about, talk to your friend group about, and see how they act. And then if that don't go according to plan, then reach out. Be like, look, you know, I'm trying to network with y'all. So that's a way of going about it. You know, I don't really stand nothing to gain from any of that. I know what's going on in the world, and I just want to see our people moving according, right? But thank you for that, Danica. That's right. We do need unity, no doubt about that. And go ahead, brother Louis V. You could chime in as well, brother.
Beats. Yeah, like now is like one of the most, you know what I mean, the biggest times for us to have peace upon each other. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, peace upon the people. Peace upon the people. Like it's too much negativity out there. Like somebody got to be the balance.
Right. Yep.
Somebody.
Yep. And it's important more than ever in this day and age that we don't get led by our emotions. We don't get, you know, that's why, like you just said, balance. You got to have balance. Like, you know, I see some of the people that I react to in these videos, they be really in distress, and that's a dangerous place to be. So a lot of times we try to add that balance because that's when people make mistakes. You know, they want to create certain things too that'll make us pivot to somewhere we don't need to go. So that's something else that we always got to be mindful of. And that's why it's iron sharpening iron, for sure.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Well, yeah, I want to thank y'all for joining. It's always good chopping it up with the viewers. If I'm going to let y'all back in the queue. If it's anybody else that'd like to join, you know, feel free. Thank y'all, and I appreciate y'all's support.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Reed.
All right, bless y'all.
Blessings.
All right, bless.
Um,
All right. Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. You got to have balance, and you know, we got to network with each other. You know, we got to network with each other because we all we got. We looking at everything that's going on, and in hindsight, we all we got. Somebody said my family is done. Somebody said false balance is an abomination. That is true. Major Champ says, I feel for everyone and their families, man. Imagine how much it's going to escalate. Right. Let's see. Joe took a look, says, we were born for such a time as this. We were strategically placed by our creator. He don't make mistakes. That's right. That is right. We are born for such a time. We were chosen for this moment in time. Yep. Elizabeth says, understand that no one can afford that. The link is in in the chat. Hold on. I think I heard another person join, but I didn't see them pop up. Let me see. What's going on? You are live, Sendo.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Hang on 1 second. Hello?
Yes, sir. You are live. It sounds like he may be driving in a bad service area. If you do end up joining the stream, make sure you're in a good signal service area and be willing to turn your camera on.
My phone's glitching out.
I like to see who I'm speaking with.
I don't know, maybe it's because I'm driving. That might be why. I don't know if you can hear me. I can't hear anything though. So, but you know
Talia
what?
says, what's happening now isn't just nothing. It's a big thing what's happening. Yeah, you know, with that Spirit airline getting shut down like that, and you know, these gas prices going up, food price. This is not something that's a joke at all. Babylon really is falling. Sherwin says the surplus funds and investing in tax lien properties is a great resource. See, that's what we need to be talking about. That's why we need to be networking. Yeah, he was having some audio problems, but it's all good. But I attempted to let the brother in because I wanted to keep my word. Last stream, he sent a contribution and said, "Hey, Bree, could you open the video up for a while?" And I see that I can do that. Time from time. Let's see. Master Lee, what's going on?
Shalom, Israel.
Hey, what's going on with you, family?
Nothing much. I just wanted to come on and tell you I appreciate all of the lives that you do and all of the time you take out to keep people informed. I wanted to make sure that I encourage you in your journey and tell you to keep up the good work. And we really appreciate you on the other side.
Man, thank you, my brother. I appreciate it, man. Hey,
Yeah.
What city you calling from, bro?
From Jersey City.
Okay, that's what's up. How things holding up out there?
Hey, man, thanks to you and a couple of other good YouTube channels, I feel like, it keep the revitalization alive as far as like keeping yourself up, but to recognize that you're not alone in this world battling these things. And, you could hear the verbiage and the rhetoric of others, and it's very keen to what you talk and how you speak, but maybe people around you might not understand the dialect, or it might be too strong for them. But it's good to know that you're not the only person that's speaking highly of themselves and of their tribe, and you're not willing to be conformed to this world and to the kind of bowing down kind of frequency that's been plaguing our people for ages. Now it's like being able to be outspoken is kind of like a not good seen thing. So it's good to see other brothers keeping that light on fire. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Statue of Liberty, like, you know what I'm saying? You like a lighthouse, like a beacon of hope for people that's really trying to wake their people up. Because you keep it going here, but it keeps people in the real world inspired to just keep that truth just going and flowing and keeping it, within the word and things of that nature. So I just want to make sure that I take time out of my time in this earth that we live in there to give you your flowers and your just due.
Man, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. And it's nothing but we nothing but family, brother. And I know that being spread out in different places, that sometimes it feel like we just few and far in between. So it always feels like a family reunion when I could just connect with y'all and hear that the word is resonating. And look, brother, I appreciate you. And sooner or later, man, we end up in real life and chopping it up, man, and keeping the flame lit.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Look, when we all together, the flame is lit way brighter than just me or just me, just the next person. When we together, hey man, it's lit. But thank you, brother, for your time. Right. I appreciate you.
Anytime. You have a blessed one.
Blessings, brother. Peace. Yep. Yeah, man. See, the spiritual family, man, we out there, man. We spread out. We spread out. And the link is there. It's been a while since I did this. This is quite refreshing, man. This is quite refreshing to chop it up with the family, man. It's been a while since I've been able to do that. And pretty soon, man, I'm going to be showing up at different podcasts and doing some collaborations. Like that is a big part of what I've done to build Nubreed Global Truth platform, is working with other creators. And I might have had a couple situations that I didn't like. Things didn't go well, but I think it's time to get back in that vein of collaborating, get back in the vein, because it's more interesting when you're going on different shows, going to different podcasts, and the message can reach different audiences. So that's something that I'm really looking forward to. What's up, Lee?
Nubreed, what it do, family?
What's popping with you, brother? Long time no see. How you been holding up, fam?
Hey, man, you know how we do over here, man. Stay glowing, stay growing, man. Good to see you, my brother.
Thank you, brother, man. Good to see you as well, man. I see you got some designs up there for the merch, man.
Hey,
you might as well put on while you in here. Yeah, you might as well put on, man.
Hey, you know how we doing it?
Some shirts in the background too. Put on, bro.
Hey, man, we growing, brother. And hey, all I can say is much love. I appreciate you, man. Pretty much just like the last brother said, want to give you your flowers, my brother.
Thank you.
Everything that you've been doing on your platform, you know, for other brothers and other sisters who may be tuning in to you, you definitely been giving us that spiritual voltage that we need, my brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for giving me my flowers, brother. But definitely show the people your artistry, your work. You know, in case y'all don't know, me and this brother, we did a track together. We did 2 tracks together.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Hey, man, it's been a while since I put some music out, but y'all keep me inspired, man. I've been hearing some of the stuff y'all put out, man. Keep on doing y'all thing. It's been 6 months since I've even put out any music, but I'm about to get back to it, bro.
I'm already knowing how it go. Hey, just know your brother over here. We into the productions too, so not just the fashion. We got the production studios functioning too. So, hey, y'all willing, my brother? Let's come on. Let's create.
Yep. Tell everybody where they can find you, Divine.
Hey, over here, Divinely Artists, you know, we over here as well, spitting that spiritual voltage, giving people the truth, you know, and this topic that you're talking about tonight, my brother, is just so pivotal. And I hope that it wakes the people up that are sleeping right now so that we can actually be in tune with what's going on. Because, hey, we got to acknowledge, take back the power, knowing that the Most High has given us this knowledge. Are we really applying it to be able to move wisely out here of what they really doing, man? And it's just, hey, it's getting real scenic out here, but we create the scene. And what is it that we want to do as a people? And you always been, you know, encouraging myself, and I know you encourage other brothers too. We need to start building each other up, building these communities where, hey, let's go ahead and say it, these people that got these different mindsets and controlling other things, they can be a little weird, my brother, but hey, all praises, all honor, all glory to the Most High.
All praises, man. Thank you, brother. Thanks for chiming in. And you're right, bro. Hey, next phase is really the mass awakening, moving even further. But we're gonna connect real soon, fam.
Yes, sir. I'm in tune with you, my brother. Likewise.
Right. Shalom. Peace.
Shalom. Peace.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Hey, you know, the fam is coming through. You know, once you and this is why, you know, the importance of us linking up too in person, like having some type of events going on, because when we all come together, it's just a different vibe, man. It's almost like you feel revitalized. You know, last time that we had an event, man, it's like when it was time to go back home, a lot of the brothers and sisters did not want to leave, y'all. Including myself. We did not want to leave. And that's because, you know, it's hard to find people like-minded who just about something positive these days. Yep. But somebody said love, light, blessings to everybody. Yes. Yeah, man. So the link is still shared. We'll give it a few more minutes. If we have anybody who wants to join, then feel free. If you got any questions regarding anything. And in the meantime, in between time, while we're waiting, you know, feel free to support the work. You know, let me see if I got the Cashapp right here is NubreedGlobalTruth.com. You can scan that, or, you know, just put in Nubreed Global Truth for the Cashapp if you just want to support the work, or if you want to support the work and at the same time purchase some of the merchandise that we got on the site, NubreedGlobalTruth.com, as well as support HebrewCare.com, get your natural products, and, you know, because it goes a long way to being able to navigate and actually make certain moves. So somebody scanned that QR code. I appreciate that. Maybe I'll leave it up a little bit longer, but that is appreciated. But also all my socials where you can find me outside of YouTube, in case you're new to the platform and you're joining this spiritual family, feel free to also join the chosen ones on YouTube, because there's exclusive video content that nobody else has access to. And there's exclusive uploads that you can see if you just become a member. So, and consider becoming a channel member. And in the near future, I'm going to be doing specific streams just for channel members. I've been meaning to do that because people who really support like that, I think it's like $3 a month. I think y'all deserve to have your own personal streams, just like I do on Patreon. I have my Patreon is Nubreed Global Truth. Yep. But one love to y'all. I don't think there's anybody else joining at the moment, but it's always an honor and a blessing with y'all. This Saturday evening has been a great broadcast. I could have been anywhere else, but you spent your time here, and time is something we don't get back. So I appreciate y'all's time. And I want to just say thank y'all, and I want everybody to have a blessed evening. Everybody stay safe out there. Rest up. Somebody joined late, but we're gonna let them in. Hey, Julie.
Hey! Finally!
You made it in the nick of time, didn't you?
I did. I said, don't you dare shut me off.
How you been?
I'm good. I'm here in Dubai, as you can see. Yes.
How's it out there?
Yeah, it's still quite intense. It's still quite intense. And I want to just say, Nubreed, I absolutely adore you. I really do. I adore you. And I am absolutely an advocate for all that you do. The amount of time, the amount of effort that you're pushing for a people that really, really need to engage and really need to respect the work that you're putting in, because this is not for the faint of heart. And I can really, empathize with how much of weight you're carrying. You are carrying a cross. And I just don't know if everybody truly understands the gravity of what it takes to not only be present on this platform, but also to be present off the platform, because you're still having to use your voice. You're still having to be present. You're still having to make it work for so many people out here who can just switch on, switch off and do what they do, but you cannot. And this is, guys, really do support this platform. I really, encourage you to do so, because this young king, like, you are Judah. You are Judah.
I appreciate
you are the lion.
You got a beautiful accent. Where you from, the UK?
The UK, okay.
Okay. I appreciate you so much. And, even just you drawing that type of awareness to the people, because they don't, people don't genuinely know what it takes to run a platform like
Right.
And I sympathize with the people as well, because some of the information that goes out, I know it's difficult to just expound on some of these things, even with people they think they're close to. Because some of this material, some of the things that we talk about and congregate about on this platform, it can be a little heavy, and it's serious. It's some serious stuff. And it can create enemies, it can create separation, but ultimately it's needed. And Christ is dividing the wheat and the chaff, and we on the right path. We on the right path. So things are swinging in the right, for sure. But I thank you
absolutely. And I thank you, and keep doing what you're doing. You know, we're with you. We're with you 100%, right?
Thank you. And you just brought great energy to close this stream off, and I appreciate you.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay, you take care. Lots of love.
All right. Good night. All right. Yeah. That's a blessing, man. Y'all making me feel appreciated and loved, man. It's good. It's good to have that positive reinforcement, man. Keep a brother motivated, man. Keep me motivated. But one love to y'all. Thank y'all for the support. Hold on. I would like to call out because I see that the Cash App has been scanned. So I'm going to just shout out everybody who supported real quick because I see 4 people scanned. I might as well shout y'all out before I close out. I want to thank Have No Fear, Martin Ruiz, and Destiny Wilson. I guess it was 3 people who supported, but I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. I definitely appreciate it. And I want everybody to have a blessed evening. Till next time, somebody asked when you're going live again. I'll be going live tomorrow. I probably will go live tomorrow evening. Well, more than likely, I'll do a live earlier tomorrow, maybe around 5-ish, maybe 6-ish, something like that. I think I'll go live a little bit earlier, or it may not be a live tomorrow, it may be an upload. So look out for that. One love to y'all. I'll talk to y'all